Hello and welcome to the channel. This is CBSE Class 9 English Language and Literature Lesson 7 The Last Leaf. Sue and Johnsy, two young artists live together in a small flat. Johnsy falls seriously ill with pneumonia during autumn. She lies in bed, staring out the window at an ivy creeper, counting its falling leaves. She believes she will die when the last leaf falls. Despite Sue's efforts to cheer her up, Johnsy loses hope. The doctor warns Sue that Johnsy's lack of will to live could prevent her recovery. Sue shares her worries with Berman, an old painter living downstairs who dreams of creating a masterpiece. One stormy night, with only one leaf left on the creeper, Johnsy is convinced her death is near. The next morning, however, the leaf is still there, looking green and healthy despite the storm. This surprises Johnsy and gives her hope. She decides to fight for her life and begins to recover. Later, Sue reveals that Berman died of pneumonia after painting a leaf on the wall during the stormy night to keep Johnsy's hope alive. This painted leaf, his masterpiece, saves Johnsy's life. The story is set in autumn in a small artist colony in Greenwich Village, New York. Two young female artists, Sue and Johnsy, short for Joanna, share a modest flat on the third floor of an old brick house. They are close friends who met while pursuing their art careers. In November, when the weather turns cold and rainy, Johnsy falls gravely ill with pneumonia, a serious lung infection. She becomes bedridden, weak, and loses her appetite. Sue, worried about her friend, calls a doctor who visits daily, but Johnsy shows no improvement. The doctor pulls Sue aside one day and explains that Johnsy has lost the will to live. He says that medicines alone won't help if she doesn't want to recover, and he asks if anything is troubling her mind, like love or unfulfilled dreams. Sue denies it but realizes Johnsy is mentally defeated. To cheer her up, Sue talks about fashion, clothes, and art, but Johnsy remains unresponsive, staring blankly out of the window at an old ivy vine creeping up the opposite brick wall. The vine is losing its leaves due to the harsh autumn winds and rain. One day, while Sue is painting in Johnsy's room to keep her company, Johnsy starts whispering numbers backward: 12, 11, 10, and so on. Sue rushes to her side and sees Johnsy counting the falling leaves on the ivy vine. Johnsy explains that 3 days ago there were nearly 100 leaves, but now only a few remain. She firmly believes that when the last leaf falls, she will die too, linking her fate to the vine as a symbol of her fading life. Sue dismisses this as nonsense and reminds her that the doctor is optimistic about her recovery. She brings soup, but Jhansi refuses it, saying she wants to watch the last leaf fall before dark so she can go away peacefully, like one of those poor, tired leaves. Desperate, Sue begs Jhansi not to stare out of the window while she works on her painting, needing natural light. Jhansi agrees reluctantly but insists Sue finish quickly. Sue then goes downstairs to fetch Mr. Berman, a 60-year-old failed painter living on the ground floor. Berman is a grumpy, bearded man who drinks gin and has dreamed for 40 years of painting a masterpiece but has never succeeded. He poses as a model for artists to earn a living. Sue confides in him about Jhansi's delusion. Berman scoffs at first, calling it foolish, but agrees to come upstairs. They find Jhansi asleep and peek out the window. Only one leaf clings to the vine amid a fierce storm with heavy rain and icy winds. Berman says nothing and returns to his room. The next morning, Jhansi weakly asks Sue to open the curtains. Sue does so nervously, fearing the leaf has fallen. To their surprise, the leaf is still there, green and sturdy, defying the storm. Jhansi is puzzled, saying she expected it to fall overnight and predicts it will fall that day, sealing her fate. But Sue encourages her, saying she must live for her friends, especially Sue, who would be lost without her. Throughout the day, Jhansi checks the window hourly, but the leaf remains. Another storm hits that evening, yet the next morning it's still there. This persistence inspires Jhansi. She admits to Sue that she has been a bad girl, ungrateful, depressed, and wicked for wanting to die. The last leaf has taught her that it's a sin to give up on life. She asks for soup, combs her hair, and smiles, regaining her will to live. The doctor visits and confirms her improvement, crediting her renewed spirit. However, he mentions another patient downstairs, Berman, also with pneumonia, but there is no hope for him. Later, Sue gently tells the recovering Jhansi the sad news. Berman had been found ill in his room, his clothes and shoes soaked and cold from the stormy night. Nearby were a ladder, a lit lantern, brushes and paints in green and yellow. Sue points to the window. The last leaf doesn't move in the wind because it's not real. It's Berman's masterpiece, painted on the wall the night the real last leaf fell, to give Jhansi hope and save her life. Berman sacrificed his health for this act of kindness, fulfilling his dream in the process. The story highlights themes of hope, friendship, sacrifice, and the power of art to inspire life. Hope it helps. Please like, share, and comment on this video and subscribe to our channel for such interesting and educational videos. Thank you very much.